Watch out! Don't walk past that ugly gray rock. The one that looks like a chunk of iron scrap, heavy for its size, brassy in the sun, sitting right where the river bends. Most hunters kick it aside. They don't know what they're holding. But you're about to. I'm going to show you 4 field tests: the $15 magnet, the $30 digital scale, the $5 porcelain tile, and the $40 chemical spot kit that can turn a worthless-looking rock into a payday. You'll know how to eliminate iron with a single touch. Measure density like a pro. Scratch out a steel gray streak, and confirm the real thing with a drop of acid. That's not theory. In 2025, a recycler pulled 80 grams of palladium, over $5,000, from 20 used catalytic converters. All gray, all ugly, all ignored by everyone else. But only if you know what you're looking at. Miss the signs, and you'll leave a fortune in the dirt. Here's why this matters. Palladium is 30 times rarer than gold in the Earth's crust. It's the workhorse of the platinum group, the metals that keep the world's engines running, the ones that trade every day on the Antwerp exchange floor. I've watched the price boards flicker in real time. This isn't internet hype. It's what the trading desks actually move. And the tension is simple. The uglier the rock, the more it might be worth. So, what are you actually looking for? Palladium doesn't sparkle. It doesn't call attention to itself. In the field, it hides inside rocks that look like nothing. Dark, heavy, brassy lumps mixed in with copper and nickel ores. The kind of rock that stains your hands, leaves a metallic taste on your fingers, and feels heavier than it should. Specific gravity is 12.02. Pick up a chunk the size of a golf ball. If it feels like it's trying to pull your arm down, but not quite as dense as gold, at 19.3, you're in the right range. Silver sits at 10.5. Palladium lands right between them. Heavier than it looks, lighter than you'd expect. That mismatch is your first clue. But here's where most people get it wrong. They're scanning riverbeds for shiny nuggets. Forget that image entirely. Palladium is locked inside chromite seams, those black metallic bands you see in cliff faces and road cuts, sharply bounded, sometimes just a few centimeters thick, sometimes running for meters. Or it's trapped in sulfide ores that are brassy to bronze, metallic, heavy. Pentlandite, pyrrhotite, chalcopyrite. Names that sound like a geology exam, but in the field they all look the same, like scrapyard rejects, not safe deposit box material. Identification isn't a glance, it's a sequence. Field test, chemical test, lab. Every step narrows the odds. The geology tells you where to start. Dark green to black, Ultramafic rocks. Peridotite, coarse-grained and rich in olivine. Or serpentinite, slick and waxy to the touch. Run your thumb across serpentinite and it feels almost soapy, like polished leather left in the rain. This is deep mantle material that only surfaces when the Earth's interior pushes up. Downstream of those formations, watch for black sand accumulations on inside river bends. Dense, shiny, mostly magnetite and ilmenite, but sometimes chromite. And if you're lucky, a few grains of platinum group metals hiding in the concentrate. On the surface above, the giveaway is rust-colored gossan caps. Porous, orange-brown, sometimes streaked with green or blue from copper minerals like malachite and azurite. That's where buried sulfide ore has oxidized. If you see all three, ultramafic bedrock, black sand in the river, and a gossan cap on the ridge, you're standing on a target. Most people drive right past it. Now, why does this ugly metal spike in price so fast? Over 80% of all palladium mined goes into catalytic converters, the device bolted under your car that scrubs exhaust gases clean. Automakers are buying it faster than miners can dig it up. And just two countries, Russia and South Africa, control about 75% of the world's supply. When Russian shipments get squeezed, or South African mines go dark from power outages and aging infrastructure, the price board in Antwerp doesn't wait for a press release. It jumps. In 2025, palladium surged 83% to a 3-year high of $1,809 per ounce. The market is in a structural deficit, expected to stay that way through at least 2026. There's simply not enough metal to go around. I find that fascinating. A metal most people can't even name is causing supply panics on trading floors I've walked through personally. If you want more locations like this, exact geology maps, field guides, the stones most prospectors overlook, subscribe now. I'm not giving you theory. I'm giving you the same process the Antwerp trading desks use to separate speculation from real value. Time for the field tests. First, the magnet. Grab a $10 to $15 neodymium magnet from any hardware store or online. Palladium is non-magnetic because its electron configuration leaves no unpaired outer electrons, so it generates no magnetic field. Hold the magnet to your sample. Sticks? That's magnetite or iron ore. Walk away. No attraction? You're still in the game. One touch, one answer, 10 seconds. Second, density. You need a $20 to $35 digital pocket scale and a glass of water. Weigh your sample dry. Write it down. Tie a thin wire around it. Submerge it fully without touching the sides or bottom. Record the submerged weight. Divide dry weight by the difference. A reading near 12.0 puts you in palladium territory. Gold reads 19.3, platinum 21.4, silver 10.5, iron and base metals under 8. Here's what I find interesting about this test. It catches the fakes that look perfect to the eye. I've held samples in Antwerp that fooled experienced dealers on site. Polished, weighted, convincing. The water didn't care. A rock can fool your vision. It can't fool the water. Third, the streak test. Pick up a $5 unglazed porcelain tile from any hardware store. Drag your sample firmly across it. Palladium leaves a steel gray streak. Iron minerals, hematite and magnetite leave red-brown. Graphite leaves black. 3 different answers from one cheap tile. Palladium sits at 4.75 on the Mohs hardness scale, harder than gold or silver, and soft enough to leave a clear mark. If you see steel gray, you're narrowing in. Fourth, the clincher. A $30 to $50 palladium acid test kit using dimethylglyoxime reagent, DMG, is available from RM Reagents, Etsy, or Fisher Scientific online. Make a fresh scratch on your sample. Place 1 drop of DMG reagent on the scratch. Genuine palladium produces a distinct red-orange color, and that is the DMG molecules bonding to palladium ions, forming a chelated complex. No other common field mineral gives you that exact color. That reaction is your field confirmation before you pay for a lab assay. Wear gloves, work in open air. The chemistry is simple, but the result is unmistakable. Now I need to be honest with you about the math. You're standing in a river in Montana. The water's cold, the gravel's black, your hands are numb. You process a ton of rock over 2 days. The yield? 0.8 grams of palladium. At current prices, that's about $50. Not a retirement find. Not even a week's groceries. I've watched people walk away at this point. They expected a nugget the size of a marble and got dust. But here's what that $50 actually means. You've proven the geology. You've confirmed the drainage is producing. You're standing on a location that no commercial mine has ever touched. That's proof of concept. The difference between a wild guess and a real prospect. And that distinction matters more than the dollar amount. Because every serious operation started with someone proving the ground first. Take the Zimbabwe story. A small-scale miner working the Great Dyke, one of the world's largest platinum group metal deposits, a layered intrusion stretching over 550 kilometers, hauls out 500 kilograms of chromite float rock eroding from the seam, crushes and processes it on site. The result, 15 grams of mixed platinum group metals, palladium, platinum, rhodium. Total value, $800 to $1,200. Not a lottery ticket. A working man's proof that the right geology and the right drainage produces results, even at small scale. But here's the part that caught my attention. He wasn't looking for palladium specifically. He was working chromite. The platinum group metals were a byproduct he almost missed. That's how this metal operates. It hides inside the thing you're already holding. And the hard line you need to hear, don't go to South Africa or Russia thinking you'll pick rocks. Both countries treat platinum group metals as strategically controlled resources. In South Africa, the Mineral and Petroleum Resources Development Act makes unauthorized platinum group metal collection a criminal offense. Fines, imprisonment. Russia classifies platinum group metals as precious metals. Unauthorized collection or export can land you with theft of state property charges and smuggling prosecution. Even carrying unassayed platinum group metal samples across international borders without documentation can result in seizure, regardless of quantity. The rules are strict because the stakes are high. In the US, the law is clear, and on your side, platinum group metals are treated the same as gold on federal lands. Play it straight, and you're fine. Here's the practical takeaway. 4 tools. A $15 neodymium magnet, a $30 digital scale, a $5 porcelain tile, and a $40 dimethylglyoxime spot kit. Total investment under $100. You need to know what chromite seams look like. Black, metallic, sharply bounded bands in lighter rock. How to spot ultramafic formations. Dark, dense, waxy serpentinite, or coarse peridotite, where black sand collects in the river. How to read a gossan cap. And you need to accept that most finds are trace, 0.8 grams per ton, $50 at best. But every trace is confirmation that the ground beneath you is producing what the trading floors are buying. The ugliest rock in the field, the one everyone else walks past, the one that looks like iron scrap and feels too heavy for its size, might be the only one worth picking up. The gap between what something looks like and what it actually is, that's where the value lives. And now you know how to close it when nobody else does. But before you close, hit that subscribe button you see for my channel, maybe the like button as well. It is appreciated. And happy rockhounding with all the tips and tricks you now have under your belt.